I'm back with another one. Just a quick one for you guys. We're gonna talk about the Andrew Schulz and the Kendrick Lamar beef real quick. So let's just get into it. I want to know what you guys think about the lines that Kendrick Lamar said, which we all know the lines. I'm gonna pull them up for you real fast. Let me get it real quick. Where they go? Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. That's law. These niggas that coon, these niggas that be in groom, slide on both of them, right? So we all know when he talking about sliding on both of them, he was talking about shits and gigs because when they were Andrew Schultz show, they kind of sat back and watched, Andrew Schultz kind of degrade black women. So that's where that come from. But the funny part about that is after Shits and Gigs was on Andrew Schultz podcast, they used to get millions of views on all their videos, but now they're not pulling in half of that anymore. But that's what happens. Like I say, when the internet gets mad at you, man, it's not a nice place. And Andrew's actually finding that out right now. But I saw a post that was done a couple days ago on his Twitter page. He said everybody got quiet all of a sudden. What happened? Y'all turned the K bots off. It says put them bots back on, guys. I was just getting warmed up. And so then people started just coming out about, you feel me? Like all this stuff, all these allegations about Andrew Schultz. He was like, so did you force yourself, 369 Lounge said, so did you force yourself on Caroline Schimmel when she was drunk and helpless as well? A simple yes or no would suffice because it's looking kind of awful that you're, an R word at your core, Andrew Schultz. And so, you feel me? We're going to go into this. Is a great pictures. Tell Emma she looks amazing. And then Caroline Schimmel said, remember when you cheated on her with me when I was 22 years old? Used me to get in to Marquee where I worked, brought a bunch of your adult male friends, and then made out with me while I could barely stand after I threw up everywhere. Yeah, me too. Like, bruh. Like all of this is what I'm saying. You if you got a bunch of skeletons in your closet or you did some questionable stuff, do not get on the bad side of the internet, man, because they is not going to play with you. And there was another girl, I saw this guy, Ryan Nice. He actually said, you have abuse allegations, buddy. So we're going to read this real quick. It says, for years I was manipulated. This is by a girl named Sarah Phillips. She said, for years I was manipulated, controlled, and abused by him. The verbal abuse was constant. I was isolated from my friends. If I wore makeup that he thought was too much, he'd wipe it off my face in public. He forced me to change before leaving the house if he thought my outfit would get too much attention. Once after being sick for weeks without explanation, I found out he had been using my toothbrush to clean the bottom of his shoes. What the... That I don't even know how that makes no sense. But to this day, I can't make sense of that kind of sickness. And he says, on another occasion, on vacation in Aruba, his anger got so out of control that I had to hide from him in the hotel bathroom with the door locked. Soon after, I began having panic attacks almost every night. There are other things that happened during this relationship that I'll probably never talk about for the rest of my life. Like, bro, I'm telling you, celebrities are weird, bro. But then people were saying Kendrick never said your name. That's what's funny about all this. But we understand it was a subliminal. So we knew that he was talking about shits and gigs on the I think there was a Flagrant podcast. So we already knew what he was talking about. It was definitely implied. But I think what really set everybody off on the internet when Andrew Schultz said that he would sleep with Kendrick either willingly or not willingly, and then just having, our fantasies to belittle a man because you're triggered. What King said, King says you use gay rape fantasies to belittle a man because you got triggered by his words in the song. Any real comedian wouldn't have made it a joke. You made it weird. That, I will say this about comics and comedians and stand up and all of that. I think there should be a fine line between things that you would say to get a laugh and things that you shouldn't say. I think the line should be crossed. A line that shouldn't be crossed is anything with kids, talking about, doing anything sexual to children and doing anything sexual to women without their consent. Those type of jokes shouldn't be joked about. Even with men, don't make those type of jokes about men as well either. Don't, especially threatening or saying that you would, have sex with Kendrick Lamar willingly or unwillingly. I think that's just something that shouldn't have been said. And this is the backlash that he's getting. And I think now that they're trying to paint the narrative, now that Andrew is getting death threats now with social media, but you got to understand it's a culture thing. When we know about when it's back in slavery, we're talking about buck breaking, and we know what buck breaking is. I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of detail about what buck breaking is. If you don't know what it is, go do your research on it. But we know what it is, and culturally, it's just a thing that's going to get under, specifically black people's skin, and then people who just don't tolerate that type of things. It's going to make everybody mad, but with us in our culture, it's gonna piss off some people, and rightfully so. There's just certain things you shouldn't joke about. But let me get over to even O'Shea Jackson. He mentioned it too. They kind of had a back and forth. He's a comedian, bro. Let it go. He was like, somebody said that's a post from 2 days ago, but basically what he's saying, a metaphor about. Andrew Schulz told him to told people to go Google "No Vaseline" by Ice Cube, and he was talking about some of the lyrics in that. I'm not, but we know metaphorically what that meant in that "No Vaseline" song, and even Ice Cube's son said it's a metaphor about getting fucked by business wise by your manager. It's not the same, homie. He was like, he ain't call you a bitch. He said, he ain't say fuck you. He said, didn't even say your name, and your response was buck breaking. Like I said, his response was buck breaking. Shit is just crazy. Like, to have that type of, to even have that stance because you got offended, or I don't even know if Andrew was even offended. He might just be trying to play into the whole thing. But I saw one of the things that after watching him and Charlamagne, which I think Charlamagne is cooning like a mug right now. And if you even look at, I'll show you the comments. Everybody is pretty much in the same feelings about everything, or having the same mindset about it. But I think one of the things that to me it feels like Andrew's trying to change the topic now is because now he's getting people are it's the internet. You're getting death threats now. So and people are hopping on this post and saying some of the crazy stuff. But when you open the door to the type of stuff that you said about Kendrick Lamar sexually, you open the door to everything. There isn't, you can't tone police, disrespect after you disrespected somebody. But we'll just hear this real quick.
Heart wrenching, is that the term? Gut wrenching, whatever shot. Don't be surprised if he goes crazy. Listen, some of the Kendrick stans have been posting shit like telling me they're gonna take out my family on like pictures of my child, my daughter. God. You surprised by this? This is the nature of the game.
Yeah, social media.
Yeah, social media. It's like, but he says that line. He says that line. His parent, his friend, some of his fans. The majority of his fans don't do anything. The majority of his fans are just like, they like hip hop. They think he's a great musician. But the most extreme ones, on a picture of my 8-month baby, are going, "You better take security everywhere because I'm coming for your whole family." And this is like multiple.
Crazy.
So to me, that person, I don't blame Kendrick. We can't control what our fans do. But that person, I go, "You're talking about my kid, man. Like, I have to screenshot you, know who you are, and if I ever see you,
you can't."
Well, see, this is the thing I say about that is, yes, that is your kid, but you're looking at it from a parent point of view. And I understand that Kendrick's a grown man, but you also got to think about how his family is perceiving what you're saying about him, about you would force yourself on him willingly or not willingly. I understand that you guys are two grown men, but Kendrick also got parents too, or he also has family too, or he has kids that will actually probably see what you're talking about. So on social media or on TikTok or anything, so his kids have to see the clip of a man saying that he will forcefully do something sexual to their father. You don't know who his cousins are. You don't know who his brothers are. You don't know who his sisters are. He just has family too. So you got to think about that. When you say things like that, not only is it affecting Kendrick, but it's affecting Kendrick and his family. And so now the things that you have opened the door to, you're going to receive it. And now it's going to affect your family and your kids and your wives and your sisters and brothers. So everything is happening. So you can't just point out, what his fans are doing when you open the door to that type of shit. So it is what it is. It's the internet. The internet is unpredictable, and there are some crazy people out there on the internet that will, stand on what they say. But then when you go back to right here, when I saw this one was before that podcast with him and Charlemagne, but
see the exact line, okay? Don't let no white comedian
so
talk
he was
about
talking,
no black woman now.
He was talking about they were bringing in about R. Kelly. Like, it was almost like they were distracting when they were talking about, you know, Kendrick is trying to stand up for black women, but, you know, he's performing in hip hop that talks about, you know, black women disparagingly, you know, drugs, violence, all of that, and talking about R. Kelly. And it almost seems like a deflective, just answering or talking about specifically what Kendrick Lamar said to you, but now you're trying to bring in other things.
That's law. Now, technically speaking, if we're going off of grammatic English,
okay,
he's saying, I can talk about black women, and that is law.
Don't let no white comedian talk about no black
So
woman.
he's basically saying all white comedians
Are only allowed to
talk about black women.
exclusively.
That's what I'm talking about, Kendrick.
We're back.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a law.
Finally, he understands
It's
it.
a law.
Now I understand why he's doing a comedy with the South Park creators.
That makes
Because
sense.
he appreciates white comedians that make fun of black people.
There you go.
And they've done that brilliantly for decades.
Yeah, that's true.
And he would never want to, you know, break one of his own laws.
No, that's true.
I mean, didn't they have a character called Token on the South Park show?
Yeah, they do.
Although I understand what they're saying, I still think that they're just trying to bring in other things to try to discredit what Kendrick Lamar said specifically about Andrew and Shits and Gigs. I think instead of trying to deflect and bring in other things, I think you should just specifically address what he said to you, and then you'll take about how you feel about it, but don't try to change the narrative about
Which
it.
I'm
now.
sure Kendrick is a big fan of.
That's true.
He must be a big fan if he's
true.
going to do a comedy with them. I mean, we can look that up. Apparently, he has a comedy coming out.
Yep.
yeah, that's fact.
But Al, you're getting groomed right now. We need to ungroom you.
Yeah, you are getting
We need
groomed.
to ungroom you right now.
Let's see.
Okay?
Let's see.
I mean that, listen, because he sent people, he says, slide on. What he said, slide on. Where's the line? Where's the line? He goes, let me get it. I'm so
I'm gonna speed this up so I can get to the part where what I was talking about when they were trying to bring in R. Kelly and stuff.
It's very important to him to protect black women. That's why he's never done a song with an abuser confirmed. He's never done a song
thank
with
God.
anybody
Thank God.
that's
Thank God.
suspected of abuse.
Thank
He's
God.
never threatened to remove his music from Spotify
Thank
because
God.
they removed R. Kelly's music, who for sure fucked and held captive underage black women.
Hold on.
This is all very important to Kendrick.
wait a minute, just let me understand what's going on.
See, right there is just I can't take them serious in this simply because, like I say, they're trying to bring in other aspects of the industry in whole. It's just not just black people. We know about the industry in whole, even from the music industry and what happens behind closed doors there. Diddy's not the only one that's doing stuff like this. He's just the only one that got caught. Same thing with Harvey Weinstein. You know, like, we know what he was doing to actors, up and coming actors, and trying to use his power dynamic to benefit himself with women. I mean, so to add in all these extra topics onto what Kendrick Lamar was talking about specifically, it just, to me, is a deflection. But even if you go into their comment section, you can tell, you know, people, they're telling the moderators to stop deleting the comments. The black dude's embarrassing. You feel me? I think Kendrick was talking to Charlotte. Someone said they think Kendrick was talking about Charlemagne the God for not checking Andrew. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of people let certain things slide, but at the end of the day, I just feel like in this moment that, you know, you just got to accept the L that you take, and you got to just accept everything that you open the door for instead of trying to put it off on Kendrick and what other grown men have done in the industry when we're talking about R. Kelly. But even people are saying, talking about forcing yourself on another man against his will and staying on that topic for 5 minutes plus the shit ain't even have a punchline. It's like, black dude mad uncomfortable. You could tell that black dude is mad uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Buck breaking in 2024 is crazy. Like, we're all saying the same thing. Y'all sick as fuck. You know, I can't believe you felt this comfortable to post this online. You know, but I also think they're just milking it because that's what people do on social media. I mean, even if you go back to the other one with here, if you go into the comment section here, everybody's saying the same thing. Charlemagne doing his best amnesia bit to save himself. Next, he's gonna say he's never heard, he's never even met Andrew Schulz. Charlemagne saying he's never heard Schulz make jokes about black women. We all know that's BS. You know, where was the other one that I saw? And it said when Nia said the joke was offensive to people who may not understand who Schulz is, she proved she had bigger balls than Charlemagne. It's all of this stuff is cringy. But if you guys want to go look at the comments, you know what I mean. It's this is the Brilliant Idiots podcast, and then the other one is, I think it's the Flagrant podcast or whatever. Go leave your comments. But at the end, you feel me? Like, it's a slippery slope, bro. But I do feel that Andrew Schulz shouldn't have said he would forcibly have sex with Kendrick Lamar without his permission. Like, I think that was, you know, over the board. But like I say, I was going to try to do another quick one, be consistent for you guys. Like I say, let me know how you feel in the comment section, how you feel about the buck breaking comments. And do you think Andrew Schulz is in the wrong, or who do you think is more right? Kendrick, when he was speaking about not talking about black women, that's law. You know, I can go into, you know, on a different date, I can go in and talk about how black women are disrespected and things like that. But just let me know how y'all feel in the comments. I'm out of here.